Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift_NoDQ. I have your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQvideo. We have Survivor Series coming up this weekend, so let's go ahead and get down to your questions. First one today comes from longtime question submitter. It's the Costanza. Should Steve Austin get involved with Becky Lynch in either a mentor type or a storyline to give her the next Steve Austin type character for the modern era ? I do not think it's necessary. I know a lot of people are comparing Becky Lynch to Steve Austin, but I would rather just let her be Becky Lynch and do her thing. If you bring in Steve Austin to try and endorse her, first of all, she doesn't need it. Second, if you have him aligned with her, it's basically telling everyone, hey, we're trying to make Becky Lynch like Steve Austin. It's better to just not force it, let it happen organically, let Becky Lynch just go out there and do her thing without bringing in Austin and saying, hey, look, everybody, Becky Lynch is the female Stone Cold. I'm not really a fan of it. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't think it would help her, actually. I think she's best off just doing what she's doing because it's working extremely well, and don't overthink it. Don't do something that isn't really needed to be done. Got this one here from They See Me Rollins. What are your thoughts on the Nia Jax situation? It seems like she cannot take the criticism and doesn't seem all that likable. Is this also the end of Tamina's so-called push? Also, why is Tamina getting a push? All right, so my general feeling on Nia Jax is that if it was the first time, you can overlook it. Accidents happen, but she has a pattern now of hurting people, and I feel like something's going on here. Maybe she needs more training, or maybe she's just not cut out for the big time. I mean, at some point you have to say, okay, she's been in the business for several years, and is she showing improvement? Is she getting better? That's the big question. If she's not showing improvement and she's still hurting people and she gets this reputation of being unsafe, then that could potentially affect her career moving forward in WWE. I feel bad for her because she should be protected more with her character, and WWE just dropped the ball. So she doesn't really have much going for her right now. She does have a job with WWE, which is always a good thing, and she's getting a push, which is a good thing. But I feel like she should have been booked as a monster a long time ago, and I feel that, along with her hurting people, is not working in her favor, and who knows how long she'll be around in WWE. She does have that family background, and she has the ties to The Rock, of course, which might help her along the way. But yeah, if things like this keep happening, then she might not be long for WWE. It's really hard to say at this point, and I think the jury's really out on it. I mean, only time will tell. And regarding Tamina, I could see this push ending in a couple of weeks, maybe. Maybe it'll go on for a bit longer. See, I feel like Nia and Tamina are going to be a team, and it's part of the whole tag team division. So I think she'll at least be pushed a little bit for that. But after that's all done, then yeah, I think Tamina will. I mean, she's a decent performer, but nothing about her really stands out. She's just a mini version of Nia, and not even that good in the ring. So yeah, I'm not sure how long the push is going to last, but Nia and Tamina, you book them as this monster, like, female version of Big Boss Man and Akeem, then maybe it'll work out for them for at least a little bit. Got this one here from Mark Brown. Do you see there being a double turn at Survivor Series during the Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar match? No. We have seen too many turns. I was surprised about Daniel Bryan just because we have seen a lot of turns. We saw Ambrose turn. We saw Randy Orton turn not too long ago. We've seen Nikki Bella turn, and the list goes on. Elias turned face. Bobby Lashley turned heel. You get what I'm saying. Brock Lesnar will probably be the babyface in that match, which is really weird when you think about it, considering the fact that Lesnar's a monster and Bryan is the underdog-like character. Doesn't really work that well, you would think, but I feel like with Bryan turning heel, the fans are going to want to see Bryan get his ass kicked, and Bryan's going to play the scared heel that's going to try to dodge Lesnar and just delay and stall for time and that sort of thing. And I think the fans are going to be wanting to see Brock kick his butt, and they want to see Bryan go to Suplex City. That's my gut feeling on how the crowd's going to react to that. So, yeah, I think Lesnar's just going to be the face for this one match, and then he'll go back to whatever. I mean, maybe he'll be a face against McIntyre. Who knows? Got this one here from Ali Morrison. What are your thoughts on Alistair Black making a main roster debut at the Royal Rumble? I think having someone like McIntyre #1 and him #2 would be awesome. That does sound like an interesting scenario, and I would not rule that out as a possibility, at least Alistair Black being in the Rumble. I don't know if he's going to debut on the main roster right away. I still have this feeling that we're not going to see any actual call-ups until after WrestleMania, but I could see somebody like Alistair Black or maybe a few of the NXT guys actually making one-off appearances at the Royal Rumble and then debuting after WrestleMania. Like Sami Zayn did in 2016. He did the Rumble appearance, and actually he was part of WrestleMania that year, so never mind. But I think that that's more likely that we'll see somebody appear in the Rumble, and then after WrestleMania, they'll show up on the main roster. And I could definitely see Black coming up pretty soon. It feels like it's about time for him. This one comes from Will. Can you see Shayna Baszler losing at Wargames and then being called up at Survivor Series and being the 5th member of Team SmackDown? And after the SummerSlam, or Survivor Series feud, excuse me, that's why you guys got to spell it out, but I get there's a character limit. Will this set up a feud with Becky Lynch? Probably not with Becky Lynch, and again, I don't think anybody's being called up this soon. I feel like WWE is going to hold off a little bit. I could be wrong. We could very well see an angle in the Ronda Rousey-Charlotte Flair match where maybe Becky Lynch interferes and Shayna Baszler comes to her aid. The thing about that, though, is if that was the case, why have Shayna win back the title in the first place? If she's about to be called up, then I think the title change was a waste of time, quite frankly. So because of that, I could see Shayna just retaining the title and staying in NXT for a little while longer until WrestleMania. And she always could show up on the main roster with the title and then just be stripped of it or something like that. Would not be surprised if that happened either. Got this one here from Paul Jackson. With WrestleMania 35 coming in April, this upcoming year will also mark the 30th anniversary of the Mega Powers exploding. Is that, in your opinion, the greatest story ever told in WWE history? No, but it's up there. Austin and McMahon would be my top pick as far as the greatest story ever told in WWE. But Hogan and Savage was right up there, and maybe the best story told of the 1980s. That and the Hogan Andre the Giant story was another good one, and Savage Steamboat as well. But the Mega Powers, what was so cool about it was a storyline that took a year to play out. WWE planted the little seeds. They knew where they were going, and they did these little segments to make the feud advance and get you hooked on what was going on. And I love the little subtle hints that Savage was getting fed up with Hogan, and Savage was getting more jealous of Hogan. And jealousy, that's a conflict as old as time. People are always jealous, and that usually ends friendships and relationships and all sorts of things. So it's just a great storyline because of that and the whole dynamic of Elizabeth and that whole love triangle, another classic story. And not really a love triangle because Hogan, was the good guy and it was all innocent, right? It was Hulk Hogan. But yeah, of course, Savage looks at it from a different perspective and is thinking the worst. Just a great storyline, and I love the slow build for it. Got this one here from Chris. Hey Aaron, I know how you feel about the Hall of Fame and the Coco Beware rule, but if there's one non-wrestler that deserves to go in, it would be Lillian Garcia. I feel like she did a lot for the company and perhaps the greatest ring announcer in the company's history. Well, I disagree respectfully about the greatest ring announcer. I would give that to Howard Finkel personally, but Lillian Garcia has done a great job in WWE. She wasn't that great as an announcer at first. She flubbed a lot of lines in the beginning, but over time she got really good. She's done various other things like singing the national anthem, and of course 9/11 was a big moment for her, doing the singing after that on that SmackDown special. She's done vocals on WWE tracks like Tori Wilson's theme song. She's done a lot for the company. So the question is, should she go into the WWE Hall of Fame? If this was a Hall of Fame of the elite, then I think it would be borderline. Now, of course, the Coco rule goes into effect, and yeah, I would say she should go in. And then the question is, will WWE actually induct her? And I think that's an easy yes. I think WWE can show the footage of her post 9/11 again, like I mentioned, and all the other things she's done over the years, and with the whole women's revolution kick, it's good PR. You got to look at it from that perspective. If it's good PR, WWE's going to do it. And Lillian Garcia going in would definitely give WWE some positive headlines. But yeah, I feel for the most part, she does deserve it. And I think that'll be a cool moment when she does go in. And I think those guys agree with me. Maybe not. This one comes from Mr. Yuck. If Brock Lesnar is Universal Champion going into a UFC fight and gets knocked out or taps out, does it tarnish WWE as a whole? Would Vince really jeopardize his baby for a publicity stunt? Oh, wait. Does anybody really care, though? If Brock Lesnar had a fight and he got destroyed, I mean, I don't care about Brock as it is right now. I know in the fantasy world of wrestling, people see him as a monster, but I'm just tired of the character, period. So if he gets his ass beat, good. Send him packing. I would be happy about it. To me, it doesn't tarnish anything. I just feel like Lesnar's stock has already plummeted quite a bit, and it's just a stale character. So, yeah, if he loses in UFC, and I almost hope that if he does do another UFC fight, he does get destroyed, so maybe that means WWE will stop paying him so much and he'll walk away again. I'm just fed up with the direction of the character and not turning him face and not doing something different with him. It's just the same old thing year after year, and it's just getting redundant. Got this one here from Resident Sleeper 22. Congrats on 20 years. With reports of USA not allowing Raw to have an overrun anymore, do you think the show's quality might improve a bit? Eliminating 10 minutes or so of filler will be a welcome change in my opinion. Well, it's hard to say based off of one show so far. I would say it made a very small difference, but not much. It is only 10 minutes, and it still felt like there was a lot of filler on the show. So, we'll see how things play out with that over time. But right now, I think the jury is out on that, and it's just too soon to really say. But my feeling is, in the long run, the lack of the overrun is not going to make much difference in the quality of Raw. Got this one here from King Turbonius. With it being 13 years since Eddie Guerrero's passing, what are some dream matches you wish you could have seen with him against current and past WWE superstars? Well, Daniel Bryan, for one thing, would be a tremendous match. Eddie Guerrero versus AJ Styles in WWE. They may have faced each other on the Indies. I don't remember. Maybe 2002. I don't know off the top of my head. There's a decent chance they did, because I do remember Eddie was somewhat active around that time on the Indies before he came back. those two would be at the top. Obviously, Seth Rollins. You know, most of the current crop of guys, I think Eddie would have a really good match with. So my top three would be AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, and Seth Rollins. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you as always for watching and supporting NoDQ.com. Head over to NoDQ.com/shirts for Black Friday weekend. There's going to be a big 20% off sale. We have tons of new shirts up there on the site. So if you would like to support NoDQ.com, the YouTube channel, whatever, head over there, pick up a t-shirt, and get 20% off during Black Friday weekend. On that note, I will see you guys next time.